What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, we got a top 10 list coming your way, courtesy of a collaboration between two of our patrons and friends, longtime friends in the community. We have Brian and Doc coming together, cooking up a list. They cooked up a Collective Soul top 10 last month that my dad Sean reacted to, and this month they got the Tragically Hip, one of Canadians' biggest musical treasures, coming our way today, man. I'm looking forward to diving into this list because I know both Brian and Doc are big Tragically Hip fans. Doc, a Canadian himself, man. You can't have a Tragically Hip list without a Canadian voice in the discussion, man. So I'm looking forward to this one. And hey, let's just dive into the write-up that the lads cooked up for us. So Doc noted, with the follow-up to our first collaboration, Brian and I thought we would throw another top 10 list for you to check out. This time, Canada's own the Tragically Hip. This was a pretty easy one for us to settle on, as both Brian and I are fans of the hip, but with a 30-year career and 13 albums, narrowing it down to a top 10 was a little challenging. After a few verbal debates, a couple threats, and 3 separate coin flips, we got our top 10. A band that was led by its lead singer-songwriter, the great Gord Downie, who sadly passed away from brain cancer in 2017, the group blended a folksy, bluesy, and classic rock sound with meaningful and poetic lyrics, touching on numerous topics and issues that changed laws, saved lives, and pointed the spotlight in the right direction. With plenty of accolades over their career and comparisons ranging to a mix of Dylan, REM, and Springsteen, the Tragically Hip might be music's best kept secret. A wonderful write-up there that you did, gentlemen. And just perusing this list here, I believe I know 4 of the songs. We did a full album review of Fully Completely, so there's a couple tunes from there, and a couple others I'm familiar with from either song reactions we've done or live stream. But I think 6 of these are going to be brand new to me, first time. So looking forward to that. As always, I'm going to have the lyrics pulled up. You got to with the hip, such great songwriting, and I'm not going to have the music due to copyright here in the YouTube video, but there will be a link to Vimeo where you can check out the full video with the music included and uncut for you right there. So I think that will cover it, man. Let's dive into this list, starting here with number 10. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? It's gonna be 38 years old. From their debut record Up to Here in 1989. That was the 4th single from that record, went to 41 in Canada, and the song is a fictional account of the real-life escape of 14 inmates from the Millhaven Institution near the band's hometown of Kingston, Ontario, on July 10th, 1972. The date of the event and the number of escapees mentioned in the song are historically incorrect, but lyrically the song is written from the perspective of the younger brother of one of the escapees. So seems like we got an interesting song starting us off here. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again to Doc and Brian. And let's get the hip going on, man. Wow, 38 years old, kicking us off, ladies and gentlemen. What a strong way to kick off this list, that's for sure. I was just kind of sucked into the story from the opening notes. I thought the acoustic playing was, that acoustic riff at the start was quite enchanting, man, and just set the stage for what we got. And then Gord's, unique and powerful voice came soaring through here and just set the stage, man, for what we had in store. Kind of setting the stage of, okay, we got the 12 pictures lined up across the front page about the prison breakout, and as it continues to go on, he notes they mostly came from towns with long French names, but one of the dozen was a hometown shame. And then that kind of cues you into, oh, the person narrating this is related to one of the inmates here. And then we get the chorus here: same pattern on the table, same clock on the wall, been one seat empty, 18 years in all. So this guy's been in prison for 18 years here, and then he's 38 years old, where we get the title. Never kissed a girl, though. So he's been gone for so long, he's missed out on so many of these life experiences, I guess, if you will. And but I find it interesting, though, that I guess the rest of the family, it's the same pattern on the wall, same clock, this and that. It stayed the same and gone on even without him. So then they let him, they kind of can advance the story. The brother comes through, brother Mike, and he comes back home. And then we get, why was he sent to prison? Well, see, my sister got raped, so a man got killed. Local boy went to prison, which is Mike, and then man's buried on the hill. So he, killed the person who raped his sister. and was thrown in jail because of it, man. And the mom is all elated, saying it's finally ceased, and he was like, hey, just for the time being, let's not get too excited. But then, unfortunately, the police come over the megaphone, said, let's go, Michael's son, we're taking you home. It was just a short-lived moment of relief before kind of reality sets back in and they take Mike back. I thought the guitar playing on here, especially towards the end, was fantastic, man. Shout out to Rob Baker, the lead hip guitarist on that. So fantastic way to start this list off, man. And now we're going to go to number 9 on the list. We have Fiddler's Green. Doc noted on this, straight up one of the saddest songs you will probably hear. Downey wrote this song for a eulogy to his nephew who passed away from heart problems at a young age, with Fiddler's Green, where sailors go when they pass, as the backdrop for the song, and subtle references throughout about how life and death are so closely attached. Even the opening notes of the guitar set the mood for what kind of song you're about to hear. This comes off of Road Apples in 91, so a couple years after the first song that we heard. So, man, it seems this one's going to be a powerful one. Wow, Fiddler's Green, man. Yeah, another one I'm going to have to give the heart treatment. Definitely, man, I tugged at the heartstrings right there. A heavy, heavy song. And, man, I just love Gord's vocal delivery on this. Could feel the pain, could feel just the sadness and emotion through his delivery there, coupled with the melancholy guitar tone and notes that we had, man. It just it all came together in a beautiful way, but also it was beautifully sad and somber with the subject matter. He starts off saying, September 17, for a girl I know, it's Mother's Day. And then it says her son has gone a lee, which looking up, that's kind of sailor talk for downwind. And that's where he will stay. Tearing blue-eyed soldiers mean, as Falstaff sings a sorrowful refrain for a boy in Fiddler's Green. And, just as Doc said, Fiddler's Green, kind of that the sailors, kind of graveyard and heaven, and so to speak. So the way that Gord was able to kind of keep some of that kind of sailor talk throughout as a metaphor for his nephew that passed is man, it was a powerful tune and a way to deliver the song, man. And as we continue to go through the lyrics, his tiny knotted heart, well, I guess it never worked too good. The timber tore apart and the water gorged the wood. Again, playing into kind of that sailor theme and metaphor. So, man, and then we have the refrain, oh, nothing's changed anyway, oh, anytime today. He doesn't know a soul. There's nowhere that he's really been, but he won't travel long alone. No, not in Fiddler's Green. Again, kind of highlighting that he didn't really have a chance to live life before it was taken from him, man. So very, very sad jam, as I said, but man, a beautiful tribute to Gord's nephew right here, and it's cool that we can talk about that all these years later. And now we're gonna move up to number 8, Bobcaygeon from the Phantom Power record in '98. Doc notes on this this is off the band's 6th album. Bobcaygeon takes you on a ride of the internal struggles of a cop who's found love outside the big city and what that life means to him as he deals with the harshness of his job in the city. The city life is based on riots, racial discrimination in Toronto in the 30s. An easy listening song with some dark and powerful lyrics, Bobcaygeon is a song almost anyone can apply to their own lives. Just pick your own city and small town and you're in your own. Bobcaygeon also won the Juno Award for Song of the Year. All right, Bobcaygeon, man, I think Doc described it well. An easy listening tune that if you want to make the effort and dive into it a little bit more, it rewards you for that as well. It kind of works on both levels, just how much effort you want to put into the listening experience, I guess, which is easier said than done, I think, for a band to pull off. But we set the stage, this kind of whole refrain where he's leaving a little after 9. It kind of all circles back together at the end. I'd like to shout out, could have been the Willie Nelson. I think that's a little reference to a little weed right there. Or he says it could have been the wine line. He says, it was in Bobcaygeon, I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. And that's another kind of topic that he ties back into his own town a bit later on. And then he notes, okay, now I'm thinking of leaving my job behind because I'm infatuated with this girl and maybe this simpler type of life that it'll be. And then he goes back home to his own home in bed, and he says, yeah, the sky was dull and hypothetical and fallen one cloud at the time. We kind of contrast that with Bobcaygeon, where the constellations are revealing themselves and so bright out there, not polluted by that city life, so to speak. And then he continues to go through, describe some of the city and rougher aspects of Toronto. Notes the riot, that when he was in the middle of that, all he could do was think about her, man. And then we finish it off. So I'm at your house this morning just a little after 9. So started the song leaving a little after 9. Now he's coming back to her house just a little bit after 9. And man, just a gorgeous tune. I thought the bass work as well was good. Shout out to Gord, the other Gord Sinclair on the bass guitar, man. And just a really strong song right here by the Hip yet again. And now we're gonna go back to Road Apples with the track On the Verge. Brian noted on this, Road Apples, which is a term for horse droppings, I didn't know that until today, was so largely underrated but had trouble gaining traction outside Canada, mostly with the saturated market of grunge and hip-hop dominating here in the States. What I enjoyed most about this track was the slight switch up on each verse in the question laid forth. Big props to Johnny Faye on the drums as well. Right, On the Verge, man, just starting musically, definitely our most up-tempo track on this point in the list, man. Love the rhythm section. Brian did well to shout out old Johnny Faye in there. He was killing it on the drum kit for sure. And we even had a little Baker guitar solo in there as well, man, towards the latter half of the song. So I like that they were just kind of letting loose and rocking out on this one, man. And some interesting kind of concepts and almost Dylan-esque at point lyrical content, especially where was the one that really stuck out to me? Well, Don't Cry Baby, there's no cause for grief, dead heading's never gonna kill the chief, it's an empty road without relief, and I'm a highway romance milking thief. I just loved the descriptors throughout this entire track, and just as Brian mentioned at the start, the little twist on every question that happens. I think we get 3 or 4 different of them right here, and that whole refrain, I'm too dumb for words, well, I didn't think I'd like it here at all, but I swear I'm on the verge. I just take it that he's on the verge of really kind of sinking in, like in this town that's filled with misfits and maybe some debauchery and just a wild time, so to speak, man. I could be off on that, but hey, that's what I'm getting on my first listen experience, man. So we're gonna keep with Road Apples as we go up now to song number 6 on this list. We do have a song reaction to this song up, but Sean did it and not myself, so I am not aware of this track. We have Cordelia. Brian notes the title is very Shakespearean as it alludes to the most devoted daughter of King Lear, who liked her the least of all his daughters. It would seem the song title is used for a metaphor about the limits one might tolerate in a relationship that is clearly one-sided and where one party is taking wildly unnecessary risk. Again, the guitar work stands out as defiantly as Gord's voice. All right, Cordelia, man, bring the absolute heat right here yet again. Man, I just think yet again Baker's guitar work was just on fire, man, and mixing that, as I kind of touched on in the reaction, with Gord's vocal delivery, especially in the chorus. I'm not Cordelia. Like he just put that extra oomph and power behind those lines to really make me as the listener feel it, man. And yet again, a lot of poetic type of a lyricism in here. I like the idea, Tin Can Man dragging from a car just to see how alive you really are. Marrying words falling in your wake. So again, contrasting the marrying with, your wake, you're dead. Just to tell what you can't eliminate. He again throws some Shakespeare in there, treading the board, screaming out Macbeth just to see how much bad luck you really get. Jump in the ring with your hidden cape. The bull can't decide what it is that he really hates. So again, just so many metaphors and great ways to explain kind of what Brian was noting at the start, just that idea that I'm pulling all the weight in this relationship. Is it worth it to continue on like this? Am I going to do it just for the supposed love that is there, or is it time for me to cut bait and keep on keeping on, so to speak, man? Instrumentally, this was on fire. I can see this being a great song that was played live. I could imagine just the energy in the crowd would be quite dense. So now we're gonna go to the top half of the list already. We're going to Grace to have a song reaction up to this one, but it's been ages since I've heard this song, but this is from the Day for Night record in 1994. Brian notes on this: I consider Grace 2 the best song to play in your first encore as a band. The slow build not only draws the listener in, but also on occasion drew Gord back to the stage with his bandmates. The song talks about a specific incident in the early 80s where serial killer Clifford Olson picked up a girl to perform window washing, only to be brutally and sexually assaulted. She was considered an unreliable witness because of her lifestyle, and he was unfortunately set free again in the world. This is the album opener, and it went to 11 in Canada. Right. Grace 2, man, what a fantastic track this was. Just the overall arc of the song, the slow build up, as Brian was noted, where yet again that rhythm section of Faye and Sinclair was just on fire, man. And then Gord just coming in so powerfully on his vocal delivery. We kind of, I think, get that allusion to the serial killer in that first verse. He said, I'm fabulously rich. Come on, let's just go. She kind of bit her lip. Geez, I don't know. And then we kind of get into the refrain and the chorus that we had in the rest of the track. That's obviously a bit ominous, where it says, I can guarantee there will be no knock at the door. I'm a total pro. That's what I'm here for. I come from downtown, born ready for you, armed with will and determination and grace too. Even that line, will and determination and grace too. You know, normally you think of grace as something, a bit softer and sweet, but here it is almost kind of twisted from its normal meaning, which I've noticed that Gord has done a lot, even just on the songs on this list. He kind of takes what you think is going to happen and kind of diverts that, and that's a real talent to be able to do that and kind of flip stuff on its head, so to speak, man. Just all in all, a fantastic song that I think builds up to a great climax, and gorgeous kind of a way where everything comes together, especially at the end. I loved how the bass and the lead guitar were playing off each other, and Gord's kind of just crying out, "Him here now!" It's going down, man. It's hitting the fan, so to speak. So all that to say, man, great jam, and for being a 5.5 minute song, I looked down at one point, so we were already at 3 minutes. It went quick, as most hip songs do. And now we're gonna go to number 4 on the list. We got Ahead by a Century from the Trouble at the Hen House record in '96. Doc notes on this: a catchy radio hit that, like many hip songs, the overall meaning is never really explained. It's hard not to see the song as phases of life, and what you thought was all laid out and you were way off. That someone special you had in your life at the beginning passes you by and you miss the boat in life. This went to number 1 in Canada as well. Right, Ahead by a Century, a great tune right here, man. I can see it definitely has the makings of a hit song for the masses, so to speak, and yet there's still enough there to comb for, I think, die-hard Tragically Hip fans at the time who, wanted to dissect Gord's lyrics and whatnot. And I like the fact that, nothing's fully explained for us here. A lot of interpretation up to the listener, I think. The whole concept, no dress rehearsal, this is our life, though, that kind of a refrain and a concept kept appearing in the track, that, hey, man, you gotta carpe diem, you gotta seize the day, and whatever decision you make is what you make, man. There's no going back, so to speak. There, he kind of sets the stage, talking kind of outside with this person, and then we get the hornet that comes in, kind of wrecks havoc, stings him, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoked them out, and then he again kind of goes back to this person he was with. You are ahead by a century, ahead in life, so to speak, maybe ahead of me and my experiences. Who's to know? Who's to say? But I think you can kind of go down that road if you want to interpret it like that, man. And then we again just get some great Gord imagery in that second verse as well. Kind of talking through the weather, almost like I think being a metaphor for possibly their relationship. And the final line, he notes, "You are ahead by a century, and disappointing you is getting me down." I think that's where we can kind of really wrap the bow on what the song might truly be about, and maybe feeling that if I would have made this decision or that, maybe this person wouldn't be so disappointed in me. As with most hip tunes, man, great vocal performance and instrumentation throughout this one as well. And now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the top 3 songs that I've heard before, though I can't say I'm could pick out the melody right now if you asked me to. But we're going to go to number 3, New Orleans is Sinking. Gonna go back to the debut record from 89 up to here. Doc notes on this: off the debut album, it has long been disputed what the song's actual meaning is. Is New Orleans really sinking? Is this about a boat named New Orleans sinking? Is the Colonel Tom in the song Elvis's manager? While there may be elements to truth in some of these things, I think this is one of the times Gord is talking about partying way too much in New Orleans and with some serious foggy spots. The acoustic guitar sits on the sideline for this one as we get a great heavy blues riff with grit and more of a diverse grunge-like tone from Gord. This, yet again, went to number 1 in Canada. Right, New Orleans is sinking, man. Just bringing that bluesy riff right from the gate, man. And yet again, old Gord Sinclair on the bass was absolutely killing it. I mean, Rob Baker has impressed me so much throughout this list as well, just on the different styles of the guitar he's been able to pull off in the various musical styles we've had already on this top 10, man. And I think Gord here just sounds so cool, for lack of a better term, in his vocal delivery. Kind of sounds like a guy that is like, kind of worried, like, okay, how exactly did I get here in this situation? I kind of can see where you're coming from on this, Doc, where at the end of the day, maybe it's not that, this crazy thing that, the city itself is sinking or this or that. I think when he says, hey, I'm in this river, my memory is muddy, what's this river that I'm in? New Orleans is sinking, man, and I don't want to swim. He might have had a little too many shots or whatnot the night before. Who knows what the night had in store, and maybe he's literally somehow stuck in this river, so to speak, man. I think you couple that with the bluesy nature of the song, you just get a great hit right here. And I did enjoy the shout out to old Colonel Tom. What's wrong? What's going on? He's shouting out to Colonel Tom. You can't tie yourself up for a deal. He said, hey, North, you're South. Shut your big mouth. You got to do what you feel is real. So again, kind of some surreal type of imagery going on throughout this track, which again kind of adds a bit to the confusion of, okay, how did I get here, so to speak? I thought the line, I looked, or I had my hands in the river, my feet back up on the banks, looked up to the Lord above and said, hey man, thanks. It's like, man, how am I in this situation? And at the end it says, sometimes it feels so good I gotta scream. She said, Gordy baby, I know exactly what you mean. I like it. He refers to himself here actually in the song. She said, I swear. She said, oh no, yeah, my memory is muddy. What's this river that I'm in? New Orleans is sinking, man, and I don't want to swim. I like that it kind of just leaves us there as this man, I guess, is almost in a sense reminiscing, lost in his memory and thought here, and just kind of throws him back to the wild night in New Orleans, baby. Shout out. Great song right here, man. I can definitely see why this is a number 3, and it's no doubt gonna be amongst my favorites when we get to that. But we're not there yet, ladies and gentlemen. We still got 2 jams left, and we are gonna go off fully, completely for the first time. And we got Locked in a Trunk of a Car. Great record, fully, completely, man. This is my first introduction to the hip. And this is from 92. Brian notes, I always found it crazy how the hip can weave multiple themes into the same song. While this song feels strongly about a serial killer with lyrics like dumping the body and finding a place where the coppers won't spot it, it also has some elements of self-loathing and historical references that have merit as well. Gord always loved to keep the listener off guard, and I especially enjoyed the guitar work in the bridge. Lead single went to 11 in Canada. I remember this being a great track, but I haven't heard it in quite some time, man, so excited to revisit. All right, Locked In. the trunk of a car, ladies and gentlemen. I think from the gate, as I was talking towards the end, that guitar work, man, so lively in the bridge section, and then the coda there at the end. I just thought that really added kind of some of that power and fire that the track needed, especially based on its subject matter. I was reading too. It's partially based on the murder of a labor minister in 1970 in Quebec. Who knows how much merit that has, but that's something to keep in mind here as well. And you definitely, as the storytelling goes, you're definitely hooked in, and kind of get the sense that our narrator here is just constantly haunted by the fact whether he murdered this person, as we kind of get where he knows, I found a place, it's dark and rotted, it's a cool sweet kind of place where the coppers won't spot it, and I destroyed the map, I even thought I forgot it, however every day I'm dumping the body. I just think that's so poetic and a beautiful way to say that your own conscience and guilt will remind you kind of your misdeeds, so to speak. It doesn't matter if everybody else does, you still have to live with that fact. And he notes it'd be better for us if you don't understand, and then he switches saying it'd be better for me if you don't understand. So I'm wondering if the us is him and the person that he killed, and then he switches it to a more selfish viewpoint, like it'd be better for me so I don't have to face these consequences if you don't understand. And then the ending where you're just shouting, let me out, let me out, let me out, kind of ties in, I think, to the title, where you're almost locked in the trunk of this car knowing that it's all about to go down, so to speak, man. A great track right here, and on revisiting it, I was like, yeah, this is I'm pretty sure was amongst my favorites of Fully Completely whenever we did that review, man, and I shared my favorites at the end of that review, and it'll likely be here on this top 10 as well, man. Y'all have chosen well, Doc and Brian. And now, what is going to be number one? Well, we're going to stick with Fully Completely, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to go to Wheat Kings right here. Doc says, never released as a single off the band's third record, Fully Completely, the song focuses on the true story of Dave Milgaard, who was convicted for rape and murder in 1969 and spent over 23 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, a similar theme to Dylan's Hurricane. With impactful lyrics against a classic acoustic sound, Wheat Kings is storytelling at its best. And Wheat Kings is the name given to farmers in Saskatchewan, where a special strain of wheat was developed and where this crime took place. So let's cue this one up, ladies and gentlemen, and afterwards I'll just kind of give my overall thoughts on the list and my favorite songs from the great list that has been the Tragically Hip Top 10. All right, Wheat Kings, man, topping us off here. What a man, just with the acoustic guitar, just gives such a kind of warm sound to this, mixed with the just warm vocal that Gord delivers here, man. A very pretty delivery that Gord did. One of his better vocal performances, I think, on this entire list. Mix that with the storytelling and the fact that this is actually a true story, and I think it just ups the power and impact that this song has, at least for me. And we again kind of go with that descriptive imagery. Sundown in the Paris of the prairies, Wheat Kings have all treasures buried, and all you hear are the rusty breezes pushing around the weather van Jesus. And then we kind of shift to what we had here with, I guess, David. He notes in his Zippo lighter, he sees the killer's face. It's 20 years for nothing. Well, that's nothing new. Besides, no one's interested in something you didn't do. No matter how long you kind of plead your innocence, this or that, some people aren't gonna care until they see the hard evidence, so to speak. And he continues on to where we kind of get a peek, I think, inside David's mind, where his dreams are at. And towards the end, we finally get the late breaking news. A nation whispers, we always knew that he'd go free. They add, you can't be fond of living in the past, because if you are, then there's no way you're going to last. Again, kind of makes you think how hard, this must have obviously been for poor David, man, living decades in prison for something that you didn't do. I'm just thankful that he was able to be released, and it sparked and inspired such a fabulous tune such as this one, man. That acoustic guitar was just the cherry on top, so to speak, man. And just a lovely way to finish out this list. And I guess that'll take me now to my favorite tracks on this list. And I found it interesting too, where we started with 38 years old, where we again kind of brought in some of that prison and that kind of acoustic guitar work, and kind of bookended it with Wheat Kings, which dealt with some of the same subject matter. So yeah, that's just interesting to me as well, looking at this list. But going from top to bottom, some of my favorites, and I could literally choose, I think, every song in this list. What a fantastic top 10 this was. I am going to go 38 years old. I'm going to go with Cordelia, Grace 2, New Orleans is Sinking, Wheat Kings, and also Locked in the Trunk of a Car. Those would be my favorites that were on this list, man. But like I said, my overall thoughts on the list in general, I think this just highlights how great a group that the Tragically Hip were, man. I mean, the Gord's songwriting is just lovely, and it is at multiple different levels. I like the fact that on many of these songs, it's not just so straightforward in your face. There's a lot of depth to the lyricism in this, a lot of multiple interpretations that you could kind of bring forth. The historical references are impressive as well. Imagery was great. I thought the guitar work by Baker throughout this list was fantastic, whether that be on acoustic or electric. The rhythm section was on point as well from Sinclair and Faye, and just has a bit of that warm sound to it, even no matter whether they're rocking out or stripping it back to the acoustic. And man, it's a shame that they just were not over bigger here in the States, man, because they have all the makings of a great rock band. And it seems that those Canadians, man, have a better musical taste on a wider kind of margin of people than we do here in the States. But hey, man, I just want to shout out again Doc and Brian for putting together this list. As I said, man, every song on here was at the very least good, and many of them were reach that next level, great, fantastic, whatever superlative you want to put on them. So one of my favorite top 10s I've actually done this year, and I'm glad that we were able to showcase the hip here on the channel today, man. Let me know your favorite Tragically Hip tunes down in the comments below, and be sure to show Brian and Doc some love for curating this and bringing it to me here today. You can check out our other Tragically Hip videos as well if you so care to. That'll be at the end screen. And if you liked what you saw today, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on more top 10s and song reactions and other fun stuff we got cooking up here at RTTC. R.I.P. the great Gord, man, and long live the Tragically Hip. You definitely have a fan here in Texas in 2021, that's for sure, man. But until next time, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and I will see you.